Hey guys, Tony here. I did want to make a quick video about Bitcoin, a quick TA, just because a lot of people have been asking about recently, and I know I haven't really made a bunch of videos this past week just because work has been so busy, So I'm trying to obviously focus on that first, and then I can start making videos when everything is a little bit calmer. But I figured I'd take the time to actually show you guys how, and if I start breathing heavily, it's because I just finished running on the treadmill. I just finished working out, so I'll start by, this is going to be a little bit longer video. So if you guys are on my TikTok or you guys are watching this on TikTok, feel free to go over to my YouTube and watch the full video, because obviously TikTok only lets me post like a minute long videos, right? This video will probably be closer to 10 minutes or so, just because I will try to actually explain my strategy and how certain things work, right? So the app, I'll go from the ground up, right? So the app is actually called TradingView. It's probably the most popular trading software that you can find online, right? At least and it's open source. You can post your own indicators and everything. You can create your own, which is super fantastic, right? I do like using the phone app, just because the mobile version or the application, right? Just because I think it's a lot easier. I don't necessarily need a desktop to trade, especially the way that I do. It's very simplistic. It's not really complicated. And it generally gets the job done. As you guys seen before in my previous videos, the TA generally tends to be pretty accurate, right? Depending on how you actually create everything. But, I like to think that at least, I try to pride myself on my accuracy, at least for trading certain things. But yeah, let's get to it. So first of all, and the very first line for the trend lines, I like to actually create certain price, the actual price zones that I'm going to be trading. And I guess a lot of people don't really talk about this, but I guess I'll go a little bit more into it, more in depth. These price zones, right? I tend to put them on, I don't know if you guys can see, but wherever wicks are actually there's a lot of wicks together, right? So as you guys can see right here, there's 2 wicks on the week chart. I tend to do 2 wicks just because the minimum for 2 wicks on when they actually touch. So here, this is a wick. This little thing right here, these little things is a wick, like a candle, right? And then this whole big little bar is actually called the candle, and then down here these little skinny ones are called wicks. So it's basically, think about a candle, and then the top part that you light, think about it's the wick, right? This is exactly what it looks like. So I tend to actually put these trend lines, these price zones where they're touching, where there's a bunch of wicks actually touching each other. So as you guys can see, there's this one, so we actually want to do it right where they're touching. So right there, that's going to be our first position. Our second price zone is going to be down here where these two are actually touching. So let's put it right, it's touching like right there for both of them. A little bit lower right there. And then, what I don't like doing is I don't like creating a price zone where the current candle is, because it hasn't closed yet. These candles all right here have closed already. So we already know that these price zones have already been set. These support and resistance line, these support and resistance zones have already been set. So we don't want to close it on present candles, because this candle hasn't closed yet. It hasn't closed yet, so there's no point in us actually using it, right? Right now, you guys can see that there's a wick right here which actually touched these two, but there is no wick for this one. There is no other wick that this one touches, so we can basically ignore this wick right here. The next ones we're gonna do are gonna be this one, more than likely this one. So let's do where they're all touching together. That one's touching. It's touching this one. Now we're touching that one. If we go lower, is it touching? Yeah, right there. So we'll put this one like right there in the middle, because it's actually touching all three. It's touching all three, right? Actually, let's move it a little bit more this way. So it's actually touching this wick, this one, this one, this one, and it's slightly touching this wick right here. The next step is we're gonna keep doing the same thing. All we're gonna do is just go down. So where the next one touches, so the next one touches right here, this wick, we're probably gonna do this wick, this wick, this wick, maybe this wick. So we'll keep going down. It's already touching. That's a third touch, and we can't go any lower because we go into the candle, right? So we can't use this wick right here. So we'll touch this wick, and then this one, and then we'll set that right. That seems to be a spot right there, right? We'll keep moving down. We're doing the same thing, and you guys don't have to set every single wick. You don't have to touch every single one, just because I don't really like going like a year back in price zones and stuff, right? Unless it's like a very high point. But I just like going up like maybe a month or two back just to kind of set everything. But then let's go to the next one, right? So we'll do this candle, we'll do this wick, and then maybe this wick right here if it touches. So we'll go here, we'll go down there, and I think it's touching. Yeah, it's touching all the zones. So we'll keep it right there. For the most part, it seems to be we seem to be getting it pretty good. I think we'll stop there. We really don't need to create anything lower for right now, right? We don't need to create anything lower as far as it goes, right? You know what? We'll do one more. I think a really good price one is going to be like right. We'll do one more just so we can have like a set. Let's see. We'll touch this wick. We'll touch this one, and this one. So maybe we'll do something like I think a good price on is going to be right. We'll just leave it right there, and then it's going to be the next zone, especially because we're in the week chart. So now let's go down to the day. Let's go down to the daily. Just looking at the daily right now, usually what I like to see is where is the actual momentum going, right? So we broke this price, we closed under. You guys can see that we closed this candle right here, this one right here. We closed under this price zone. So it does look like right now we closed, and then on the MACD. Let me see, where's my, there we go. On the MACD, you guys can actually see how we actually crossed bearish towards the downside. And we haven't created any weaker candles. So usually when you see a weaker color, like red color, it's going to pop up here, right? You know how this is like a dark blue, a light blue, dark blue. Let me see if I can give you guys a better example. We go far back, there we go. So on the MACD, you guys actually see this light red candle, which means we're super bearish. And then these like little darker ones means that that bearish momentum is actually dying, which you guys can see that once that starts, you guys can see price start to move upwards, right? So right now there is no indication that we're actually, that any bearish momentum is dying. It still looks relatively strong. And then on the stochastic, we actually did see a price. We actually did see the bearish indication that we created at the top, and then the week chart we're headed down, right? So it does look like right now, if I had to make a guess, I would say that we're headed all the way back down to around this price zone right here, which is $38,000 or $38,829. Like I do think that as of right now, more than likely we are going to be going back down to that zone. So what can happen right now? Let me see if I can find an arrow. Where are my arrows, man? There you go. So from right here, it does look like we're gonna be headed down this way. It does look like we're gonna be going down, or it does look like we're gonna be touching this zone right here. Just looking at what's going on right now. On the stochastic, you guys can see that we are about to cross on the bullish side, especially for Bitcoin. But yes, the thing is we have to go back on the history to see what's actually going on. So the last time we actually crossed this section on the day chart, we actually crossed the bottom. We actually crossed that zero. We actually crossed that 0 point. I think it's 20. Let's go back. Let me see where we actually crossed. So the last time we actually crossed, we really didn't have any momentum. So I mean, we crossed over, and it just kind of went flat, right? So it looks like just on history, we might be doing the same thing. It does look like we might, more than likely, it does look like we're going down. It does look like we're headed back down to that, that 38.7 level. That's basically going to be my guess. If I had to guess, I do think that we're going to head back down that way. And that's just me looking at the MACD, looking at that crossover on the MACD, looking at all these candles that are created on the bottom of the MACD. It's still pretty strong. It does look like it's sort of dying. And then on the stochastic, it does look like we're creating a bottom. But if I did have to actually guess, I would think that we're headed down. It looks like we're going to be headed down. We would need to close under. Let me see if I can set one more. Let me see. If I did have to pick another one, let me see how far up I have to go. Can I go right there? No. So if I had to create another wick, another price zone, it'd probably be right here for the day chart. If we do, I think if we do start going, more towards the bullish side, I do think it would happen now. So we're actually going to run up. I do think we are creating a bottom right now, and I do think we're going to run back up. But if we actually end up crossing this, what is it called? This $44,100 level under, and we end up crossing under and then closing a candle, more than likely we're going to head back down. So we can we're either creating bottom right now, or we're going to go back up, or we're going down to that 38,700 level, whatever, right? If I had to guess right now, like I said, I think more than likely we're still kind of bearish. I do think we're going to be headed down, but we have to close a candle under this price zone right here. It just looks like we're bearish. It just looks like we're bearish unless I see the MACD, go completely bullish and we rise up. I think that's going to be, that obviously that's an indication that we're going back up, right? But it does look like we're creating a bottom on the stochastic, and it does look like, we actually hit price up. We actually hit our support down here on this 44,105 level, right? So as of right now, if I had to guess, it does look like we might actually keep going back down. If we don't bounce from here, if we bounce from here, we're going straight back up to $57,000, right? But if we do not bounce right here and we start trading sideways for a little bit, I do think we're gonna go back down, especially for crypto. So that's basically kind of like an intro of how I trade on my strategy. If you guys want to learn more, subscribe to my YouTube, go to my TikTok. I'm under the same name. Give me a like button and subscribe and stuff. And, I guess you guys will keep looking at my TAs and stuff. So I'll see you guys later.